on credit cards is either really rich or up to no good. Let's go see which it is.
Yeah. One personal question. I was playing today clips of your speech from August 20th, 1998, which is the most amazing speech because, it was all about bin Laden. It was all about Osama bin Laden. It was all about Al-Qaeda. It was all about the attack that was planned for Afghanistan and Sudan. And the very next day, they called CNN, the Clinton News Network, which killed me. I had to spit up a lung, screaming at people who were calling me up saying no war for you-know-who, and wag the dog. And I just, how do you do that? I know you say you want civil discourse in this election. I can't. I don't suffer fools gladly, and I hate liars. And I get really upset. And I don't know how you deal with it. So can you tell me how I deal with it?
Well, for one thing, there's a reason. As one of those Republicans that I had a pretty good relationship with once said to me, he said, I hate the way we treat you, but if we fought you fair, you'd beat us every time. And it basically, if you live in a sensationalistic culture and you know you're going to lose an argument, then the best thing to do is to convince people that the person on the other side's no good. If you can convince people that Bill Clinton's no good as a human being, then you don't have to listen to him as a president. And that was essentially their strategy. They said, we can't beat this guy if we argue on economics or social policy or foreign policy. So we'll just take him down. We'll convince him he's no good. And if you have a culture that rewards that sort of attack, then you get the results that they thought they would get. The problem was I decided not to cooperate, and my cabinet and staff decided not to cooperate. And fundamentally, the American people decided not to cooperate. If they had bought the argument, I'd have been out of there. So
not only that, your approval ratings, last time I checked, when you went right in the middle of the hole, it was 65%.
That's right.
Yeah.
But that's because the American people figured it out. So, I don't mind you being mad about it. I think it's fine, but the president can't afford to get involved in that kind of personal stuff, because if you're mad all the time, then they're already winning, because then you won't be doing your job for the American people.
That's like what Richard Nixon said, something about the people who hate you only win if you hate them back, or
yeah, but he let them get to him. Plus, which his own paranoia did him in. And if Nixon, for example, had Will Rogers working for him instead of people that were also paranoid, and they would have said, McGovern's not going to beat you unless you commit crime, so don't break in the Watergate, don't wash dirty money through Mexico, don't use the FBI to investigate your enemies. You cannot lose. But instead, he had these people that played to his paranoia. So Nixon actually was a brilliant guy, and compared to the crowd that runs the Republican Party today, he was a virtual communist.
Wow.
He signed the Environmental Protection Agency, the Occupational Safety and Health Agency bill, the strongest affirmative action legislation enacted at that time. He was much more liberal than these guys are. But he got caught up in this, and that's what I tried not to get caught up in. Let me just say, you asked me what you should do.
Yeah.
I think what you do is valuable. But you don't have to, they don't think they're bad people. You have to say, the reason they think it's okay to have a different standard, whether it's telling the truth, abusing power, whatever it is that they believe the most important value is to have people that share their anti-government, low tax for the wealthy, and conservative values in power. So anything that concentrates power in the hands of the right people is good. Anything that diffuses it is bad. Most Democrats believe that our job is to share responsibilities, to share opportunities, and that nobody's got all the answers. So we think it's good to disperse power and to share things. So I think the most effective argument for you is to do what you do. Say, I think they're wrong, and here's why they're wrong. And that's what they can't fight.
Well,
it's an opinion whether I'm a good or bad person, or Newt Gingrich is a good or bad person, or Tom DeLay is, or Kenneth Starr is.
Bad.
But what they do and what I do is a fact. And the facts are our friend.
Well, that's exactly the way I feel about it. I try and fight the fight on facts, but sometimes, it just gets to me. It really does.
Well, it's hard. You got to work at it steady. Like I said in this book, I talk about how much Nelson Mandela helped me with it. Because if it hadn't been for Mandela and 2 or 3 other people, I don't know if I could have kept myself from being angry. But there were after that impeachment deal, a lot of those guys that were involved in it would come to the White House for other meetings, and they would leave, and I'm sure, as far as they knew, I couldn't even remember it, because that's the only way I could do my job for the people. And I wasn't going to let them win by just being torn up and upset and paralyzed by it.
Well, you did a phenomenal job, and I don't know how, but you did. And you're amazing, and Senator Clinton's amazing, your whole family. Chelsea turned out beautiful, and maybe I can, strike up a Mandela relationship with you.
I'd like that.
I would love that. I respect you. I admire you. I appreciate you.
Now that you're my neighbor, I hope I get to see you more.
That'd be great. That'd be really great. Thank you, Mr. President.
Take care.
You too, sir.
Bye.
Bye. He's a man. 56 after.